Today, we will talk about the texture bake process in our Blender classes with you. What is texture bake? Let's talk about it right away. If we briefly describe the process that allows you to output all the shaders you have made in the shader editor in a single batch. So, where is this used? This process is mostly used in game engines. There are many other areas of use, but since 80% of those who watch this video will use it in game engines, I will give examples on game engines. The main reason why it is used in game engines is that, as I said, all the operations we have done in the shader editor, such as painting and texture, are collectively baked and output as a single texture and transferred to the game engine with the model. That's all. I have a material schematic like this. Here, I have a shader like this as a result of blending two different shaders. If we show it immediately, my first shader is like this, and my second shader is like this, and these are blending them together with the final color ramp and noise texture to create an image like this. So, we can transfer this to the game engine as it is? No. So, what we have done here, as you can see, we have created the two materials you see with a lot of textures. In the end, we got one material like this. Transferring this to the game engine by baking gains importance here. We cannot transfer it as it is now, but after we bake it, we will turn it into a texture and we will be able to transfer it to the game engine. So, how do we do the bake process? Let's start right away. First of all, I switch to Cycles Render mode from here. I create a new window from here. From here, I open the image editor or UV editor. Here, we need to give a new name to the texture we will create. I just gave it the name Bake. Width and height settings are also here. For example, if you are going to make a 4K game, you need to enter a pixel-based value in 4K resolution. Since I'm teaching here, I will create a texture with a resolution of 1024 by 1024. More than that will be unnecessary for us. Here, you can enter the pixel-wise resolution values of the texture you want to bake depending to your need. You do not need to fiddle with any settings here. Give it a name here, set a desired resolution here, and click OK, and you will see that a blank texture is created. Now, we come into the schematic. Shift-A, I select image texture from the texture section and put it in an empty place here. I text the bake part here in this empty space. When I text bake here, I can see that the bake texture appears here. You don't need to connect it anywhere here in any way. It can stay this way. From here, we switch to Cycles Render mode. We're scrolling down. We're in that top section, by the way. I open the bake section. As you can see, it allows to bake in many ways. If it's not in combined, it gives a normal output as you can see, and you can get output from here in many different ways. Now, let's get an output, the combined option first. If it gives an error here, select the object and click bake again. Here, at the bottom, you can see the texture bake process is in progress. Let's continue after this is finished. As you can see here, it says that bake process is finished. If I maximize my window with Control Space, as you can see, we have done the bake process without any problem. Now, I save it through Image in the Save As section. I create a folder called Bake and save it as Base. And minimize the windows with Control Space. Here, I can also recommend the Ambient Occlusion option, which makes details more prominent if your game engine supports it. After I have their output, I will show their usage in Blender. As you can see, we also have this output. To Image, Save As. I also save this as AO, Ambient Occlusion. You can also make an output of the shadows with the shadow option here, but I'm not going to do that. With the normal option, you can also output the normal map. Yes, we have printed out the normal map and I save it as normal in the Save As section. One of the last options you can output is Roughness, which I highly recommend. This option determines where the reflections will be rough. Make sure you have this output. In the same way, I'll save this one with the name Roughness. In general, these are the options we can output. The Glossy option here is used for the same purpose as Roughness. Let's see if there is much difference. Yes, as you can see, with the Glossy option, we have the output of the map image. What are these? Ambient occlusion, base map, which is our normal diffuse texture, normal map, and roughness file. These are the base map files for us. So how do we use this in Blender? Let me show you right away. I want to make it a little bit smaller. Let's make it a little bit bigger here. Let's duplicate with object with Shift D. Now I'm going to delete this material. I'm going to add a new material. Let's open the file browser here. Let's click on thumbnails here. From here, I drag and drop and add the base color as you can see. As you can see, it gave us a direct output of a blend of a lot of materials. I also drag and drop the ambient occlusion here. And here is how to use it. If you look at this as a preview, you can see how the details on the bottom edges of the object stand out. When you remove it, the details are not so prominent. When I connect this, you can see how the details are becoming more prominent. Remember to select non-color here. Here, we select Mix RGB from color. We connect this to the second channel here, and we connect our main image to the first channel. And here, I'm going to select Multiply. And from here, you can increase the detail intensity. We have the roughness file over there. I'm going to drag and drop it here, and I'm going to connect it to the roughness option here. And I'm going to select the non-color option, and here we have something like this. By selecting invert from color, I usually prefer to keep it around 50%. Look, the glare looks better in these parts. Finally, we have the normal map image connected to the normal channel. I select normal map from vector. I select non-color on this one. See, when I increase the intensity here, you can see how the details on the surface become clearer. And I give this a value of 1. Yes, as you have seen in this lesson, we have baked textures in this model you have seen. Here, we have textures and materials in the normal shader. In this lesson, I tried to show you how to do the bake process with you. I showed all the map outputs you can get during this job. I showed all the map outputs you can get during this project. If you need extra map outputs, you can select from the map files there and bake them. There are 4 basic map outputs I told you will be enough for basic game modeling. See you in next tutorials. Have a good day.